A warm welcome to the students of BBA first semester for this session on the subject Corporate Administration, Unit 2, Formation of a Company. The topic which will be discussed in this session is Articles of Association. The contents for today's discussion are Introduction to Articles of Association, Meaning of Articles of Association, Definition, Contents, and difference between Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association, followed by the most likely questions which are expected in the university examinations. Let's begin understanding the introduction or the background of Articles of Association. The Articles of Association is a most important document. Every business unit or institution must have its own rules and regulations for an efficient management of its affairs. In case of public limited company, it is the Articles of Association that serves this purpose. The articles are the internal regulations of the company, on the basis of which its internal affairs are managed. They lay down the powers of the directors, shareholders, and officers. As I mentioned, it is a document that defines the purpose of a company and specifies the regulations for its operations. This document outlines how tasks should be accomplished within an organization. So therefore, it gives a framework. The Articles of Association can be considered as the user manual for the organization that comprises of the methodology that can be used to accomplish everyday's operations of a company. This document is a binding on the shareholders and the organization and has nothing to do with the outsiders. Let's understand the meaning of Articles of Association. As I discussed in the earlier session, the primary document is Memorandum of Association. Therefore, Articles of Association is a secondary document containing the laws relating the internal management of the company. These are the legal document that, along with the Memorandum of Association, which serves as the constitution of the company. It comprises the rules and regulations that govern the company's internal affairs. Students, remember, Articles of Association comprises rules and regulations for management and control of the organization. Let's try to have insight about definition. As per the section 2, subsection 5 of the Companies Act 2013, an article refers to the original article of association of a company or a version that has been altered so as to comply. Comply means match to the laws stipulated in the Act. Section 5 of the Companies Act 2013 defines the Article of Association as the document that contains the rules and regulations regarding the management of company. Section 2, subsection 5 shall contain the regulations for management of the company. They are framed with the object for carrying out the objects stated in Memorandum of Association. The articles should not contain anything which is inconsistent with either the provisions of the Memorandum of Association or of the Companies Act. Therefore, Articles of Association is a document which lays down all the rules and regulations. Hope students you have understood the definition which is given in the Companies Act 2013, Section 2, subsection 5. Let's now understand what are the contents of Articles of Association. Even in your examination, you have to state the contents. The contents are as follows: classes of shares, their values, and the rights attached to each of them should be stated. That is, either preference shares or equity shares details have to be given. The next content is about calls on shares. transfer of shares and its procedure, forfeiture of shares, conversion of shares and alteration of capital. Next, the details regarding directors, their appointment, procedures, powers, duties and responsibilities of directors are mentioned. The next important aspect is meetings, how to conduct a meeting, the minutes of meeting, procedure for drafting of notices is specified. Accounting procedures and auditing procedures are also stated in Articles of Association. The auditors who are appointed, internal or external, their remuneration details are also mentioned in articles. Let me recall. The contents of Article of Association are details about shares calls procedures, transfer of shares, appointment of directors, their powers and duties, procedures for conducting meeting and maintenance of records relating to minutes of meeting and notices, procedures for accounting and auditing, and also the details relating to appointment of auditors, remuneration, and so on is specified. To continue with the contents of Articles of Association, it also states the following. Firstly, the voting procedure. In case of proxy, the details related to that, dividends and various reserves procedures. In case of winding up, the procedures to be followed, borrowing powers of board of directors and managers, subscription, details relating to minimum subscription, and rules regarding use and custody of common seal. As one of the features what we have discussed in the earlier session is about joint stock company, it is having common seal. So in this, they state the rules relating to its usage. Next, rules and regulations regarding conversion of fully paid shares is also mentioned in the Articles of Association. Hence, it is required for you to remember and write these contents in your examination. As we have mentioned earlier session, the primary document is Memorandum of Association. The secondary document is Article of Association. They are not same. There are differences between them. Now, let's understand the distinction or the differences between Memorandum and Articles of Association. The first difference between them are Memorandum of Association clearly describes the powers and objects of the company, whereas Articles of Association defines the rules. The next difference, Memorandum of Association is subordinate to the Companies of Act, whereas Articles of Association is subordinate to the Memorandum. Let me repeat. Memorandum is the subordinate to Companies Act, whereas Articles of Association is subordinate to the Memorandum of Association. The next difference, Memorandum cannot be amended retrospectively, whereas Article of Association may be changed. The main difference is that Memorandum includes 6 compulsory clauses and 1 optional clause, whereas an article may be drafted as per the company's need. In the previous slide we discussed there were around 13 to 14 contents in the Articles of Association. So according to the needs of the company, it can be added or it can be drafted according to the requirement. The Memorandum of Association is mandatory, means compulsory for all companies, whereas for a public share company can use, there are different tables and forms, so it is table A in place of Articles of Association. An alteration may be made in a Memorandum of Association only after passing special resolution in annual general meeting or AGM, after obtaining prior approval from the central government, whereas any changes in Article of Association can be made by passing special resolution at company's annual general meeting. So there is no compulsion of obtaining permission from central government. Now let's summarize and understand what all concept we have discussed till now. The focus was on articles of association. To summarize, the Articles of Association can be considered the constitution of a company. It outlines the rules and regulations that stipulate a company's internal management or internal affairs. The Articles of Association are also considered as a user's manual for an organization that states the purpose of the organization and its strategies to accomplish its short term and long term goals. Generally, the Articles of Association includes a company's legal name, address, purpose, equity capital, organization of the company, financial provisions, and provisions regarding the shareholders of meeting. So in this session, I have elaborated and given you inputs about the most important document, Articles of Association. So articles prescribes the rules and regulations for attaining the objects which is mentioned in the Memorandum of Association. Let's now look into the most likely questions which are expected in your examinations. You can expect these questions. Define articles of association. So you can mention the definition which is given according to the Companies Act, Section 2, subsection 5, which I have discussed initially. Next, you can expect section B question, explain the contents of articles of association. Next question, which is repeatedly asked in examination, is differentiate between memorandum and articles of association. Hope this session was helpful for you to understand the most important document, articles of association. Thank you all.